when you talk about transformation, we are not talking about transformation of a school. We are not talking about transformation of textual material or for a content for a particular, system, like say for the primary or the middle. The basically transformation is transformation that we in our mindset. And so long there is no the mindset, the question of the deeds listed over by the policy will not be, very relevant. So my most appeal today is that we as educators, this country should be able to re-engineer our mind that school is not exclusively learners for examination, and therefore we need to expand our horizon of thinking, and the purpose of thinking listed in the document that better, and unless otherwise the mindset comes through, we still will be getting back to the details. Number one. Number two, that yesterday or day before, I was just looking at one of the programs of India Today, and the title was given there was called the India Moment, right? Now, I look at this particular national education policy as a very strong input to what is called the India Moment. Why? Because 50 to 60 years, I think we have been looking at very constricted system wherein we have been following a linear model, and Indian education basically is not a subscription to a linear model, but it's where facilitate cultural learning, multi-dimensional learning has always happened, and therefore national education say the subscribe to. And when you talk about competency-based learning, you should be able to subscribe competencies in different domains and not necessarily linear, dictionary approach to learn. Third factor, which I would say, is that competency is a very broad term, right? Learning objectives, one a way of approaching the competency, right? But competency per se is, there. I remember a very interesting Warren Buffett that single being has got a circle of competence, and he said it does not matter, not important how big the circle is, but it's important for every individual to stay a circle. I think, therefore, you may acquire competencies, but unless otherwise you use them, unless otherwise you practice them, the competency will not be relevant. And so in the education system, where there is no point in what you call targeting competence, but every classroom should live with the competencies. And that really means that we are moving towards from one MLL to the other MLL, that from minimum levels of learning to maximum levels of learning. I think that transformation that to facilitate each learner move from the so-called minimum levels of learning of what you call the pass mark at the horizon of learning. I think one of the forms that we need to have is to break the idea by removing the 35 as a pass mark. I think we need to move away from the pass-fail system and then go celebrate the learner for the various kinds of competencies. Transformation is an organic process. It is not a down process. It has got to be, it can be achieved only if all of us are participants to that. My only request is that a number of researchers have gone across on defining competencies, both in the skills, whatnot, I think. But I think what we need to look at competency is the development of the total human potential of the learner, because if we are going to restrict our understanding of competency only to a textual content, a disciplinary content, the finer idea of developing the human competency index to be relevant to the global world will not be there. So my only request is that one, we need to change the mindset. Two, we need to engage into action depending on what we have designed on our mindset. Third is that we should remain engaged with competencies, and the power of competency. That's a word I was congratulating Atul for this, using the word power of competency. The power of competency is not only for the individual. It is a fraction of what is the national competency, because every single individual is contributing to the competency of the people. Now, one last point I would like to say is that competency need not result in mastery, right? That we need to distinguish the thin line of difference between mastery and competency. Competency is a very normal, attainable, and therefore when you talk about assessments, we need not worry that it's an attainable, definable, measurable factor on the scale. But the most important thing is our mindset about competency has to change. Our mindset about the transformation has to change. Thank you for the question.